Welcome to a 25 Let's Playing Dishonored.
Wow. Can you believe that was me 1 year ago? Well, I can. Wow. Can you believe that was a year ago? Because I kind of can't. Can you honestly believe that was a year ago? I honestly can't tell at this point. Can you believe that was a year ago? Like, seriously, my channel is 4 years old. 4 years later, and all I got was depression and autism. It's a joke, and not fully accurate. Yet it's not untrue either. When I write this, it's also the 12th of August. The chances of getting this out on the 13th are, let's just say, slim. Let's say impossible, as I'm recording this on the 29th. I've been stupidly busy trying not to have my future ruined. But let's not dilly-dally. Not a lot of videos this year, but so many that matter to me. Let's get going. 13th of August, 2019. Channel Anniversary 3. Like every year, a video I look back fondly on. I, however, also made some interesting points. Like the idea of wanting to upload one video per week. Not something I've achieved, but it's more the aim. A more achievable aim. The other was that I wanted a wider variety of videos. And the aim of creating videos that I could be really proud of. Let's see if that actually happened. The 18th of August, 2019. I love the disability representation in MLP. Welcome to the start of a trend for this year. Talking a lot about My Little Pony. I think this is a good one to show why. I am so happy I made this observation. My Little Pony is ridiculously good at representation. Especially representation of the disabled. Not as plot point, but just as things that exist. And the list of disability representation has been growing ever since I started paying attention to it. Tempest Shadow from the movie, for whom it is a plot point. Professor Inkwell from the comic, who just has a fucked up eye. Final Scratch, who is just mute. Not to mention all the background ponies. The other reason this video is here is because it is my most watched video that I've released this year. Though my original Tenogen with Prime accessories is once more my most watched in total. Of all my videos to be the most watched from this year, I'm really happy it's this one. 1st of September, 2019. D&D story. How I took all the money and all the books. My first and only D&D story. I'm not really a storyteller. Definitely not without a script. On the topic of D&D, I'll probably stick more with advice. Perhaps soon I'll give an in-depth look into a series of one-shots that I ran, and how you can run them too. Still, it was fun to tell this story of some of the craziness that happens in D&D. 17th of November, 2019. Make fantasy your own by combining things. Me giving what I think is actually good advice. Advice I still attempt to follow. Still want to use the idea of Kirin water at some point. I actually have a combination of things in the world, in the game that I'm running. I don't think my players have figured it out yet. But when they do, they will not be pleased. Or probably more in a state of, what the fuck can we do against this? 24th of December, 2019. I gave Equestria Girls a try. This time, the conclusion was expected. Every year, I tend to really like my Christmas video. It's just always something I care about. This year was no different. Not as deep as last year, instead it was just delightful and positive. Something I always need in the winter. And really, just in general. Also a direction I've been pushing my channel into. It's just become more and more a place of positivity. A place you can come to when you feel down. And I'll try to make you feel slightly less so. I don't think I'm good at it, but it's my aim. I guess I've always made videos like the ones I want to watch myself. When I started out, that was Let's Play videos. Now, I'm just more into positivity. And to me, it's also funny, as this video has a, to me now, hilariously outdated take on Rainbow Dash. Prepare for a video about that some point in the future. 31st of December, 2019. The last day before this horrid nightmare began. Am I a furry and/or brony? For quite some time, this was one of the videos that was the most me. Just annoyingly pedantic, in that way that only I seem to enjoy. But also justifying my pedanticness. However, recently a couple videos have had even more of me in them. 2nd of February, 2020. Why MLP villains are so much more hateable. Just a lot of observations around My Little Pony, Equestria Girls. Maybe also one of my first videos that I know of in which you can hear me being delighted. And just me doing some media analysis. I'm not good at media analysis, but it was a fun video to make. And it has some actually good editing in it as well. To most, it should be subtle, maybe not even noticeable, but I see it. And I'm quite proud of it. Even more so when knowing I pulled it off while pretty down. And I must simply give another thank you to Illymation. Her video, My Dark and Mysterious Hobby, truly helped me being more open about some of my interests. And I think this was part of my road to being more open about my feelings. Something I've been trying to open up about for ages. And I think I'm finally making progress towards it. On the topic of having more feelings and daring to have them. 1st of March, 2020. I dare you to smile. One of my shortest videos of the year. Also, the most important of the year. A simple message that gets stuck inside your head. Don't you deny it. The next time you walk out of the door, you remember that I dared you to smile. A personal dare I still forget from time to time. Yet it's more important than anything else I said this year. I dare you to smile. To think of anything that'll just put a bit of brightness on your face. 29th of March, 2020. Why I don't follow the news. Almost a part 2 to I dare you to smile. This time not as much a dare as a suggestion. A very topical suggestion in a year with a worldwide pandemic and lots of other shit. Maybe don't expose yourself to negativity that's not going to aid anyone. A suggestion to avoid useless negativity. I have not picked up Ori and the Will of the Wisps after this, by the way. The stupid sandworm made me stop playing a game I thought was pretty good up to this point. It's really sad. I may look up if there is some cheat to easily beat that annoying thing. 12th of April, 2020. 36 questions for atheist. Answered without a sweat. Honestly, this video is just fun. To some, these may seem like the most profound questions in human history. To me they were all trivial. But I do love some of my answers. Is there a purpose to life? No. And moving to the next question. That still just cracks me up. And the video is full of my style of editing. This is simply a video I enjoy. And the video a lot of people on Twitter did not agree with. 26th of July, 2020. A Let It Rain cover by a fanboy. My best video this year. This video was the most work this year too. Perhaps not in total time, but definitely most time per time of the video. I think I spent at least 7 minutes per second of video, and it's in so much. Recording all the tracks. I don't know if I would have even dared to record myself singing a year ago. And for that daringness, I must give a thank you to People Call Me Lucifer for his extremely simple comment of, "Bruh, this twat can sing pretty well," on my video, I Love the Night. I think that was the compliment I needed to dare to do this. But the time I spent on this video is in so much. As you can see in the video, me singing is comprised of 8 audio tracks. So whenever any track is not actively singing, it's completely muted, as otherwise the static would be overwhelming. So many hours of listening closely to each track, figuring out which exact track I want to use for each line. Sometimes switching tracks mid-line as I like the first part of one and the second part of another. I'm also a big fan of the commentary I put at the bottom. It really explains why I love this song so much. But some of the time spent came from the dumbest things. My intros where the mains flash across the screen has been an idea I've had for a long while. And something I had decided I needed to have for this video. There was but one problem. The simple flat main pattern that I used don't actually exist. I had to make them myself. It turned out well, and I'll put them on my DeviantArt so others can use it. But it's just the silly things too that just eat your time. And there's just an additional point of really coolness. This cover was actually covered on Equestria Daily. This is probably meaningless to most, but to me it means a lot. It's not just me doing something on my channel that no one really watches. It's me actually putting it into the world for others to actually come across. And it was really cool to get such a positive reception towards it. It getting a quarter of the views my most watched video got in 3 weeks was obviously really cool, but people actually liking it means so much more to me. Thank you to everyone who left nice words. I'm really proud of this. Very public thanks to the makers of these amazing shows. 10th of August, 2020. The Folly of Celestia Epilogue. This set of videos hasn't actually become public yet by the time of writing. However, I think they fit the theme. And they have been watchable if you just happen to know where to find them. Also, at the time of recording, they have been released and are being overwatched like crazy. Making me question if I should do more readings of stories, as it was surprisingly enjoyable to do. This was a unique set of videos to make. So, let's quickly tell that tale. Spoilers for The Folly of Equestria, an amazing My Little Pony fan animation, coming up. Go to the time on screen or in the description to avoid spoilers. In the animation, Twilight is confronted with Vesper. Her from another dimension. Her who focused on the negatives and fell into depression. At the end of the animation, she finally saw she had fallen into depression and the door stood open for things to improve. It's amazing. And I couldn't deal with it. It left an open door to goodness. But it wasn't there yet. And it stayed in my mind. It wouldn't let go. And so, I did something about it. I took to writing. I wrote an epilogue on FIM fiction. I haven't written anything in years, if ever. And here I wrote 1,500 words in a day. In hours. And then I read them, so everyone could easily listen. And this fits with this year, as it has a lot of me in it. I didn't plan the story, I wrote it in hours. Born from my own experience with depression. It doesn't mirror me, yet I think it's obvious how much of myself is in there. Probably most obvious to me, as at one point I actually switched from third to first person while writing. And I do actually like my writing. How all the unnamed ponies have fits for them. Many I had in mind while writing. It's writing a story. I'm proud of having dared to put it into the world. Not that I had a choice. I needed closure for Vesper. For if there wasn't a good ending for Vesper, how could I claim there would be a good ending for me? I too naturally focus on the negatives. Seth may claim that I'm more positive than him, but that's active behavior, not my passive. You may claim that I've not cut off my wings, but what potentials have I lost? Have I get away? Have I actively rejected? Due to the years of little progress. That's the other part of why this has to be on here. It's the bookend. This anniversary started with a joke. The absurdum that after 4 years I got depression and autism. But in reality, I might finally be fighting the things that really matter. Finally trying to actually deal with the problems that hold me back. Finally on my struggle out of the darkness. And wouldn't you know it? that's the story of the epilogue I wrote. Normally I have more, but I couldn't find a better ending. I'm already weeks behind schedule. So, let's end this like every one of these. This has been Vinix, saying farewell. This has been Vinix, saying farewell. This has been Vinix, saying farewell. Happy Christmas and Merry Holidays. This has been Vinix, saying farewell. This has been Vinix, daring you to smile. This has been Vinix, saying farewell. This has been Vinix, saying farewell.